Rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Under announcements tonight, the only thing I really have to announce is I'd just like to thank everybody who had our Christmas tree lighting a couple weeks ago. It was a wonderful affair, and I do have some people I have to thank. Santa Claus, obviously, he was a big part of the festivities. I'd like to thank the East Fishkill Rotary for all the work that they do for the town. They're a great group. I'd also like to thank our East Fishkill Community Chorus, Lori Brangelman, who does so much work, Recreation for all their help, and the seniors for decorating the community center. They did a great job. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the Highway Department and again Lori Brangelman for putting up the wreaths in town and for doing the lights on the trees. I got to tell you, they do a great job and it's very appreciated. I think it just makes us feel like this is Christmas time, so it's a wonderful thing. With that, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilperson Walker.
Present.
Councilperson Cassidy.
Present.
Councilperson Danke.
Present.
Councilperson D'Alessandro.
Present.
Supervisor Hickman.
Present. Thank you, Madam Clerk. The board has received the minutes of October 24th, 2013 and November 7th, 2013. Madam Clerk, have there been any changes or modifications?
No, there has not.
There being none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 24th and November 7th?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda is public comments on agenda items only. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on any items that are on the agenda? All right, there being none. Madam Clerk, do we have anything under receipt and file tonight?
Not this evening, we do not.
All righty. The first matter of business is the public hearing. The first public hearing is to be held to consider a new law. This actually came because of what we're trying to do. We have to be in compliance with New York State Building Code, and we're working our building code laws because we need to add a law on occupancy permits. And what this will actually do, it was brought to my attention a few months ago by a gentleman who owns a plaza. It makes the process of moving, if you have a vacancy in a plaza and it's the same type of business, in and out, there really shouldn't be a whole big permit process. It was brought to my attention, so I spoke with our people, and actually it makes us more in compliance with the New York State Building Code. So that being the case, we're going to hopefully adopt the local law 4 of 2013, adding occupancy permits, which would make the rental of a facility or something in a plaza a much easier process, as it should be in this economy. So with that, do I have a motion to open the public hearing on occupancy permits?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The public hearing is now open. Tom, do you want to just give us a little outline of this real quick? I just tried to explain, but I know there's occupancy permits and...
Right, well, this would pertain when there's, as you indicated, change of use where one of the units of a commercial building has already been previously fitted up, and it's just going to be a change in the occupancy, say, from one type of office to another. The state code requires that the town maintain an accurate and up-to-date listing of all types of uses within the buildings in the town. That deals so that the fire department's aware of it, and you know whether there's any gases or chemicals or things like that stored. Additionally, this occupancy permit will then form the basis to keep us on the fire inspection schedule. Some premises, depending upon the use, need not be inspected once every 3 years, so this permit would be for 3 years. If it has to be inspected every year, it will be 1 year, whatever the state fire code. Because what most people don't realize is the building and fire codes in the town are put into effect by the state of New York. The town is mandated by law to enforce these codes, and from time to time the state requires us to amend our local processes to stay in compliance.
Yeah.
So this should keep us in compliance with the code, make it more efficient and easier for a landlord to change out tenants as long as no construction is required.
exactly, and I appreciate that outline. One thing I'd also like to say, if you were to get a fit-up permit or some other kind of permit, the occupancy permit would actually go right along with that.
It will be granted without additional fee
With no
or
additional
application
fee.
or anything else.
And if they just would like to get if they just need to get the occupancy permit separately, it's a $75 fee, which is really just enough to have our fire inspector go out, do an inspection of the premise, and make sure everything is in order. So I think it'll help the business people as far as the economy is concerned, and it will put us more in compliance with New York State Code. Any questions? Is there anybody in the audience like to speak for or against the local law 4 of 2013, adding occupancy permits to the town law? There being none, does the board have any other comments? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Let me do it this way. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing, adopt the negative declaration, and adopt the local law 4 of 2013, adding occupancy permits?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Wanted to get that done, and I think that's a very important piece of business. We move to the resolutions, and these really are just housekeeping resolutions due this time of year. The first one's designate insurance carriers for 2014 medical workers' comp. We do this on an annual basis. The brokers of record, Dutchess County agent will be hereby designated as the town's broker of record for health insurance coverage. Is that the correct title for them? Okay, for the health insurance coverage, Mark? Eifer, French, and Ketchum, designated town's insurance broker of record with respect to the workers' comp. And Spade Agency be hereby is designated as town's insurance broker of record with respect to the town's liability insurance. And also, please be resolved, the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute all insurance contracts on behalf of the town for 2013. Do I have a motion to accept that resolution?
Should that be 13 or 14?
It's for 2014. Thank you, Peter.
Oh, this would be short-lived.
I know, we'd have to do this all over again next week. Do I have a motion to authorize that resolution?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Peter. Number 2 is to authorize the adoption of an HRA, which is a health reimbursement agreement, which we had actually instituted last year. Last year, we made changes to our insurance, our health insurance, and also we changed with our liability insurance carriers. Actually, we saved over $200,000 last year. So this is really just an extension of that. And we'd like to continue it because actually it's turned out to be a pretty positive program for the employees and actually for the town of East Fishkill. So do I have a motion to authorize the adoption of the HRA?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Thank you very much. Number 3 is to authorize our SPCA agreement and set dog control fees. Carol, is this an annual contract we have with the SPCA? Or is it every 2 years? It's annual, right?
Yes.
Okay. We looked at the fees, and honestly, we were not in line. They raised their fees, so we have to raise our fees too. So we would like to authorize a 2014 contract with the Dutchess County SPCA, and we're going to set our fees, reimburse any, the town shall be reimbursed for any dog owner the sum of $50 per day for boarding and $50 fee for the seizure of any licensed or stray dogs. And that puts us pretty much in line with what they're charging, Carol, plus a little bit for our
Plus
own
a little bit,
administrative.
yes. Yeah, and I have a small schedule, it's the same it was last year.
Okay.
Just those 2 changes.
Okay, sounds good. Do I have a motion to authorize the 2014 contract with Dutchess County SPCA and to change the fees?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Resolution number 4 is confirming the town board's review of the Justice Court's dockets and records. The Uniform Justice Court Act of New York State requires town justices to submit their dockets and records to the town board for examination on a regular basis. And basically, Mark, I believe it goes to our auditors who review these documents, correct?
Yes, we're relying on the auditors to.
And our auditors are wrapping up our audit as we speak for 2012.
Correct.
Okay. And once we get our audit for 2012 complete, we will send this up to the Office of Court Administration, I believe it is? Yes. and they will review it for whatever they review it for, and they'll keep it on file. And that will satisfy our responsibility as far as the Uniform Justice Court Act. Correct? Just want to make sure I had all that. So we're still waiting. We just have a couple things to wrap up with our 2012 audit. It's almost done. I expect to have it any day now. So do I have a motion to confirm the town board's review of Justice Court's dockets and records and authorize us to send that up to satisfy this requirement?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Resolution number 5 is designating an existing clerk as administrative assistant in the engineering department, otherwise lovingly known as the Department of Engineering and Building. We have a lot of things going on down in that department. In the building and engineering department, we implement the MS4 program, building code, zoning enforcement, fire code supervision, and engineering. And to get a better handle on some of the activities that are going on down there, we have Brenda Porter is down there, and she's been doing a good job of overseeing all these different issues or all these different operations within the department. And I'm asking the board tonight to designate Brenda Porter as the administrative assistant to the town engineer in the engineering department to assist with the management of that department.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I will say that Brenda is doing an excellent job. Resolution number 6 is to authorize 2 police officers to attend training. We've had a request from the police, the chief of police, and 2 police officers to attend tactical emergency casualty care for law enforcement. It's offered at State Preparedness Training Court Center in Oriskany, New York, on December 20th. So the expenses of the town will be for tolls and meals, and I think it's a very worthwhile training program for our officers. I believe we're going to send 2 up there. So, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, okay. And I gotta say, I will tell you one thing about our police department. I think they do a terrific job, and anyway, throughout the town, actually, I think that, you know, the more training, the more education we can have, the better job that we can do all around. So I certainly support that 100%.
Saying that because there's 6 guns out there pointing at us?
Man, I know there's a few of them. There's uniform guys in the back there, so. You knew that one was gonna get passed, now didn't you?
Roll back up.
I hope somebody's on the road tonight. Resolution 7 is just to authorize the 2014 town board meeting dates. We always schedule our meeting dates ahead of time. You notice that we always have little issues during the summer and with the holidays, but basically it's going to be the same. So town board has a schedule. Said meeting shall be held at Town Hall, commences 7:30 p.m. And I do believe, again, it's going to be, the regular meetings will be open to the public and such. So do I have a motion to schedule town board meeting dates for 2014?
So moved.
All those, second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? What would happen if we didn't pass that one?
You wouldn't have to meet.
It could be a tough year,
Might be a good idea, I
2014.
don't know.
So.
I don't know what
Alrighty.
you're gonna do without us, to tell you the truth, but.
Oh, it won't be easy. Number 8 is authorizing designating a partial parking restriction. What has happened, I don't know what they call it, they probably call it County Road 28. I know it is Old Hopewell Road. The county has come to the county's attention that there's an issue of sight distance with some of the residences right along that strip, right off Route 82. So the county has asked the town to give them authority to post it. It's in the town boundary, within the town boundaries, so the county can't just go ahead and post it. They have to ask the town. So they requested from us authorization to post partial parking restriction along Old Hopewell Road. They've identified the situation, and certainly we would like to work with the county as best we can. So do I have a motion to authorize designating a partial parking restriction?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9 is to designate engineering firms for use on special projects. Actually, it came to our attention not too long ago with our contract engineers, a project had come up, and suddenly they said, oh, you know what, there might be a conflict here. That kind of put us in a little bit of a bind. If there's a conflict, what do we do? So we looked around, we decided we should hire alternate firms. And I know that, Bill, you've interviewed these firms, and I think, Nick, you were at a couple of the interviews. We had 4 firms respond. You interviewed the firms. I think we've all reviewed the responses. And the 2 firms that we have, of course, tonight is Renia Engineering and Lawrence Paggi. And, Bill, would you like to say anything? I mean, I think they're
Well,
good firms.
I taught both of the gentlemen, Rich Rennie and Lawrence Paggi. And both Nick and I both agreed their presentations were exceptionally good. And the fact that they're a smaller company and local, we felt that they could give us better service and attention to projects. So we were in agreement with that.
Good.
I would like to change on the resolution. Lawrence Paggi's, it's 2 Gs, as you know, but he's now out of the village of Fishkill.
Oh, okay.
He was in Wappinger for years, but
Okay.
for the last year or so, he's in Fishkill. There is another Paggi in Wappinger.
Yes, there is. Are they related?
I think so,
Okay.
Aren't they all?
yeah.
All right, and in this, also, I would like to just point out that Rich Renia Engineering is also the engineering firm for the East Fishkill Joint Landfill. So I think both these firms would do well. I would also like to ask if the board would not mind, if we had any special projects that had come up, I would like, this way we could have these guys, it's already been approved, and if a special stormwater or another a landfill project or anything came up, we could, assign one of these firms to that too. So, with that, do I have a motion to designate outside engineering firms for use on special projects?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Well, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we'll give these firms a call and let them know they've been approved for the list. Number 10 is to establish out-of-title pay policy. And this is really just cleaning up out-of-title pay, when out-of-title pay applies to in certain situations. And we've always had this in the contract. This is just really a clarification, because there's been some question, when does somebody get it? And I think the board is well aware of this, so this will just kind of straighten everything out. So do I have a motion to establish an out-of-title pay policy?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Okay. Resolution 11 is to schedule a public hearing for February 27, 2014, to consider proposed zoning amendments. And town professionals have previously, and I think we've seen copies already previously submitted to the town board memorandum recommending changes of certain definitions within town zoning ordinance, definitions, etc. Town board has discussed the same at a workshop, and we'd like to circulate these changes to the planning board and other agencies for comment, and establish a public hearing date, which would be February 27, 2014, to receive public input on them. These amendments, I think that we had gotten a while back. We got them last year. We had them at a workshop, and I know our planners, they come really from our planners, our professionals, and the planning board. So, these would make our process work better. And I've also asked too, because there's going to be zoning changes that will be coming in. We know there's a dome project that's going to be applying to the town in the near future too. So I would like to say if there's any zoning, there will be zoning changes involved with that project. So I'd also like to include them if they're ready at the February meeting. So I think that'll be good. And we'll have a discussion at the workshop in February. We'll sit down, talk about, everybody have a list of all the proposed zoning changes, and we'll discuss it at the workshop. All right. So do I have a motion to schedule a public hearing for February 27th to consider proposed zoning amendments?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Thanks. All righty. That is it for the resolutions. Now, we do have some budget transfers have been submitted to us by the controller, basically year end. I don't know if anybody has contacted the controller, had any questions with it. I talked with Mark about it last week. I have no problems with the budget transfers as submitted. Everybody okay?
Yeah, I called him today,
Okay.
clarified everything, thank you.
Yeah, we're good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just for the end of the year, just to make sure all the budgets are funded. So that being said, do I have a motion to authorize the budget transfers as submitted?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Ethel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. That's it. I didn't mean to rush through the agenda that quickly, but it was just a few things. I do want to just say one thing, too, because we're going to close the meeting in just a minute. I wish everybody, it's that time of year again, I wish everybody is safe. I think I could speak for the town board. We wish everybody a safe and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Please, from the bottom of our hearts, have a safe and happy holiday. With that, the next town board meeting, which will be the reorganizational and voting meeting, will be held on January 16th, 2014. Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.